Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelina and today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. So most people unhaul books before they move so that they don't have to move all of these books to their new place that they don't want. I, on the other hand, did not think that far ahead, so here I am now unhauling all these books. But I have a lot to go through, so pretty much this entire shelf here is all books that I'm getting rid of. I will kind of tell you why. Some of them I have read, just a couple of them I haven't, but we're gonna kind of talk about them. So first I have Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This is a book I read a couple of years ago when it first came out. I really didn't like this book. And honestly, I've kind of just removed it from my memory, so I don't want it anymore. Then Where the Crawdad Sings by Delia Owens. This is one that I think I just gave 3 stars to when I first read it a while ago, when this one first came out, I believe. But you know, then there was some controversy with the author that kind of came out, and because this was kind of just like a 3-star book and I've never really thought about it since, I'm just going to get rid of it. Then this is the Owl Crate exclusive edition of Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, and this book I think I also gave 3 stars to, and it was never one that I wanted to continue on in the series. And then again, this author got into some controversy, so there's really no reason to have it on my shelves. I just want to say that all of these books that I am unhauling, I will be putting onto Pango Books, which is a site where people sell their slightly used books. So if any of these books interest you, I will have my Pango Books link down below and you can check out my shop and, you know, buy any of these if you want to. But I figured I would just put that in there in case any of you are interested. Next is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. I actually buddy read this with my friend and neither one of us enjoyed this book. I have also learned that Alexis Hall just is not an author for me. Their humor does not work for me. And the sort of like hate to love trope in this book I didn't think was well done. This is one that I've read more recently, so I kind of have more thoughts on it. But this one just really was not good, so it is leaving my shelves. Next is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is one I read when it released and I think I just gave it 3 stars. I've never continued on in the series. I think I had initially planned to and then I just never did. And I have no plans to go and reread this one. So it's leaving my shelves. This one might be a bit of a controversial one, but The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I absolutely hated this book. I gave it 1 star. It was not good. Brandon Sanderson is also an author that is just not for me. I won't be picking up any of his other books. And this can go to someone who is actually a fan. Then another maybe sort of controversial one is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is one that I DNF'd. I'm not even sure how far I made it through this, but I was just bored and I don't remember anything that happened in it anymore. So I'm getting rid of it because I will never be attempting to read this again. I have no desire to. One that I never actually read was Dragon Teeth by Michael Crichton. So I know that this author wrote Jurassic Park and I saw this in a used bookstore. This book also had a dinosaur on it, so I was like, maybe they're connected or something. I don't think they are, but I've just never gravitated towards this book. I've never really wanted to pick it up and I don't think I ever will. And if I do, I'll probably get it from the library, but really there's no reason for it to just be sitting on my shelves. So then A Royal Christmas Fairy Tale by Karen Shaler. This is a Once Upon a Book Club book box book. It has a signed book plate in it and stuff. This is another one that I DNF'd It just wasn't for me. It read a lot like a Hallmark movie, which is fine, but it's just not my thing. So there's no reason really for me to keep it. Another book that I have never read is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. This is like a modern classic type book that I had found at a used bookstore, but realistically, I'm never going to read this. I don't enjoy classics, even more modern classics. Not really something that I gravitate towards. If I ever do feel the need to pick this book up, I'll just get it from the library. There's no reason for this to be taking up space on my shelves though, so it is going. So The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen is one I think I gave 1 star to. I hated this book, which is really unfortunate because this was one of my most anticipated releases, and I did try to get a copy of this while I was at BookCon in 2019, and I didn't. So when I got home, I went out and actually got this book when it released, and it was such a disappointment. And yeah, I don't want this on my shelves. It is just brings back some unfortunate memories because that trip to BookCon was absolutely terrible. But you know, that's a story for another time. Next is The Outsider by Stephen King. This is one that I ended up DNFing. Stephen King as an author is usually like a hit or miss for me. This one was a miss. I couldn't even tell you what happened in this. Basically, I DNF'd it. I don't remember it. It's leaving my shelves. Next is The Life in Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly by Jamie Pacton. This is one that I did not like. I think I gave it like 1 or 2 stars. It's like a YA contemporary or romance type thing set at a medieval fair. I don't even remember what I didn't like about this book. I think it was the characters. But you know, I didn't like it, so it has completely left my brain, but I do not want it on my shelves. Then The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This is one that I actually really enjoyed when I first read it, but the author has gotten into some controversy, so I don't really want it on my shelves. Also, it's not really a story that I would ever want to reread. I do think there are better versions of this book out now, but when I had first read it, it was sort of new to me, so I think that's why I liked it more. But again, I'm never going to reread it, so there's no point on having it on my shelves. Then Woven in Moonlight by Isabella Banez. This is one that I did not enjoy, and the author has gotten into some controversy. I do absolutely love the cover of this, and I have kept it on my shelves for this long just because of the cover. But I didn't like it, so I am finally going to be getting rid of this. Then From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon. This is one that I got from Owl Crate. It is the signed Owl Crate exclusive edition. But I did not like this book. I believe I gave it 1 star. And back when I had a book blog, this was my first negative review I've ever written. But yeah, I've kind of just kept it around because of that sentimentality towards it being my first negative review I've ever written, but I don't need to keep it, so I am finally going to be getting rid of this one. And then I have The Rose Society and The Midnight Star by Marie Lu. I believe this is books 2 and 3 in this trilogy. I've already gotten rid of the first one. I'm not sure why I still have these 2. But this was a fun series when I originally read it. But I have never thought of this series since I finished it, and I think there are just also better versions of this book being put out that there's no real reason for me to keep them. I have They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. This is one that I hated. I'm already not a fan of sort of YA mystery thrillers, but this one I just absolutely couldn't stand anything about it. So I'm glad to finally be getting rid of this one. In the Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. This author I have read a book from before and I really enjoyed it. And I found this one at the used bookstore, and so I decided to pick it up. But I read like the first couple of pages and I just wasn't feeling it. the writing style just wasn't for me, so, you know. I will be getting rid of this one. I don't think I will ever read it, so no reason to keep it around. Then I have Out of the Wild Night by Blue Balliet. This is a middle grade horror book that I found at the used bookstore, but I picked it up because I wanted to sort of give more spooky middle grade books a try. But then when I got home and I looked at the reviews for this on Goodreads, they were very low. I just don't think I'm going to keep this one. I don't know why this one is on this shelf. I actually like this one and I'm not getting rid of it. Yeah, we're just gonna put that one over there. Next is The Rig by Roger Levy. This is one that I picked up just because of the cover. I found it at the used bookstore once again. And it has since just sat on my shelves. It's a really big book, which already is intimidating, but you know, I've just never had any desire to pick this one up, so I will finally just get it off my shelves. Next is The Beautiful by Renee Audier. This is a book that I got from the used bookstore once again because I have heard a lot of like mixed things about it, so when I saw it there, I decided I'd pick it up and give it a try. But sadly, I DNF'd it. It wasn't for me. It's a historical fantasy, has vampires. I believe there's a romance in here. But yeah, it didn't work out for me, and that's fine. I do see why a lot of people like it though, so. Next, I have the entire Remnant Chronicle trilogies. This is by Mary E. Pearson, and I binge read all three of these books, and I hated every single one. I was keeping them sort of for sentimentality reasons. Once again, when I had my knee surgery, my grandmother got all three of these books, and she read them and loved them, and then she gave them to me. I did not. I hated them. Considering I was just stuck sitting on the couch doing nothing, binge reading these is kind of like a weird memory that I have, but I think it's time to finally get these off my shelves. There's really no reason to have them if I dislike them so much. Next we have Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson. This is an adult romance, and you know, it was cute. I gave it 3 stars, but I don't really have any strong feelings about this one, so I will be getting rid of it. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. This is a well-known classic, and I was bored. I think most of us have some familiarity with Moby Dick. I would not recommend it. And that's all I have to say. The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters. This is one that I read for one of my very first YouTube videos, which was a dragon reading vlog. I will have that linked in case any of you guys want to check it out. That dragon vlog did not go as planned. Evident of this one, I did not like it. I get why a lot of people enjoy this one, but it really didn't work for me. So anyways, this one will be going. Then we have The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda. This is one that the owner of the used bookstore that I frequent recommended. She is an avid like mystery thriller reader. I'm not, but you know, I figured I would take her up on some of her recommendations of her favorites. This is one of hers, and I gave this one 3 stars. It was fine. But specifically mystery and thrillers, I never have really the urge to ever reread or think about again, because you know, we kind of already know how it ends, and I don't know. But this one isn't bad. It's a solid 3-star read. Just no real reason for me to keep it. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is another one that I buddy read with my friend along with boyfriend material. We both really hated this one. We had a lot of fun ripping this one to shreds. But you know, no reason to keep this on my shelves. I will definitely not be continuing the series, but you know, I'm glad so many other people enjoy this. I don't know why, but good for them. Then I have the 7th book in the Harry Potter series, and I don't own any of the other ones. I have read, I believe, up to book 4, and they were fine. I think I was too old to really care about them, and I've only like watched the first movie, maybe the first few, I don't know. But you know, this author has also been in a fair share of controversies. I'm never really going to continue the series. There is no reason for me to keep the 7th book in the series on my shelves, so it is going. Then I have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson. I've only read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out of this whole book collection thing, but I did not enjoy it, so there's no reason for me to keep it on my shelves. Next is Sold on Monday by Christina McMorris. I picked this up because it is one that I've heard a lot of good things about, but really like sad books aren't my thing. I never gravitate towards sad books because I read so that I'm not sad, so I never pick up sad books. But yeah, I'm never going to read this, so I'm just going to get it off my shelves. The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. This is one that I absolutely hated. It's a classic. I didn't like it. Yeah, so it's going. Then The Lion King by Ruth Ware. This is another one that the owner of the used bookstore that I go to recommended to me. This one I believe I also gave 3 stars. It was fine. Again, I'm never really going to reread a mystery thriller, and you know, it was also just fine, so no real reason to keep this on my shelves. Then A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. I DNF'd this. It's again like a YA mystery, which I'd say already is not really my thing, so I will never try and pick this one up again, so it is leaving. And then another Michael Crichton book. This one is Pirate Latitudes. Again, I'm not sure why I thought that this author was someone that I was going to read a lot from. I've never even read Jurassic Park, so I don't really know what my thought process was. But yeah, I doubt I will ever read this, so it's going. But okay, that is all of the books that I'm going to be unhauling. Once again, if you're interested in checking out any of these books for yourselves, I will have my Pango's book shop site linked down in the description below if you want to, I don't know, see if you would actually like to purchase any of these from me. They will all be very cheap. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and comment anything you feel like commenting, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!